So despite Warhammer Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40k, Horus Heresy, The Old World, all that stuff being tabletop war games, they surprisingly don't actually fit on most tabletops. So before I go any further, I want to clarify there are better ways of doing what I've done, probably more cost-effective ways, but one, I am incredibly lazy, and two, I just do not care. I want something functional that looks nice. So I have a table that's roughly the right size. It's like a foot shy on each side effectively. So I just need a topper to put on top of the table to get it Warhammer ready. So my original plan was to just get a bunch of sheets of MDF and just bolt them together somehow in a collapsible way and then just use them to play on. The problem with MDF is that if you want decent MDF, the price starts going up quite a lot if you're not a tradesman, and also MDF, at least the bigger, thicker MDF that you need to do this to a reasonable degree, is quite heavy. And MDF being heavy isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just, you know, I'm lazy, and I think if it's really heavy, or at least partially heavy, I'm gonna lament setting it up and putting it away every time I play Warhammer, and I don't want to do that. So I found something similar that is fairly cost effective, and it's also going to be sturdy at the same time. And it's these bad boys here from lovely IKEA. So what this is 3 IKEA, what is it? Lag Captain table surfaces. They're 120 centimeters by 60 centimeters, so when you lay them next to each other, you get just under 6x4, which, you know, if you're playing the Old World or Horus Heresy, it's a little bit of a pain because you're just a couple of inches off, but if you're playing 40k or Age of Sigmar or any modern Warhammer games, this is the perfect table size to get a mat or some boards on, have space on one side or either side of that board for people to put their dice, tokens, even their armies ready for deployment. So the plan going forward is going to be something like this. We have our nice fold-away table in the center of the room, which makes up the base of this new wargaming table. You pop down the mat I use for playing board games on, just to help protect the table surface a little bit from the wooden desk surfaces. Then we pop down a couple of grid pads across the middle of the table. Then you pop the IKEA tabletops on top of the table because it is a table topper, and then just roll out your battle mat. And voila! Warhammer table. And I could just leave it there and use them like that, but there are a couple of issues you need to sort out if you want to use this properly long term, because whoosh, these side panels overhang the table slightly. So what that means is, if you put weight here, the whole thing's going to shift, and if I accidentally go past and I bump into it, the whole thing's going to move as well. That's where these bad boys come into the picture. So what these bad boys are cheap adjustable clasps I got from Amazon. And the basic idea is that I will put these on the sides of the table where the outside panels join the central panel. On one bit I put this hooky doodaddy, and then on another bit I put this, and then when you're ready to go you hook it in, and then you lock it, and it securely joins the two together. And because they're adjustable, I don't need to be super precise with the measurements, and stuff can slip a bit because I'm lazy and bad at DIY. You need to be somewhat precise, but you don't need to be super precise. And the theory is that once I've got these clasps on the side of the table surfaces and all attached together and the table's clamped together, that the whole thing will be extra sturdy. As a result, you won't get those weird things where you bump into the side or put weight on the edge and then one section of the board just flips up in the air and all your Warhammer models shatter into a billion pieces. So for the DIY bit, it is super simple. You just got your cheap clasp to the desired width you want it to be. I'm gonna have it quite close but not super close, just so I've got a bit of leeway for mistakes to happen. Then I've just got a bunch of everyday screws. Key thing with this is that you want screws that aren't too long, because IKEA stuff is shit. I say that in a loving, affectionate way. IKEA, please don't come for me. But IKEA surfaces and furniture, particularly the wooden furniture in general, has, this plastic imitation wood stuff that makes up the outside of it. And inside, it's just cardboard. So if you have a super long screw, all you're going to do is mess up the inside of the thing. You just need enough to get into the side of the table surface, and that's it. And then you use the Sharpie to put marks in the holes, you know, where the hook and the clasp is, and you line them up on the side, and then you just drill in and then screw that bad boy in. The first clasp is screwed in and attached, and as you can see, it works beautifully. So that is nice and tight, but not too tight to cause damage to either side of the table. And now that this one's done, I know what to do on all the other edges of the surface. So as you can see, I've got the table all set up, it's all clamped on the side, and moment of truth, is it going to be sturdy? That's what we want to see. And there we go, a perfect Warhammer table that fits in with the decor of the room and doesn't look shit. There is another good bonus to designing a table topper like this, using these IKEA countertops in particular. Because they're quite thick, they're about 1.5 inches thickness, it does raise the whole table up because you're obviously putting them on top of a pre-existing table, so it would be higher than it would be normally, which, if you're an old man like me, will save my lower back when I'm reaching over the table for prolonged periods of time playing games of Warhammer on this thing. Another added bonus is that while I was on my knees drilling the holes in the sides of the wooden tabletops, I found a little Votan hammer on the floor. So if anything, this whole process has been worth it to find this bit that I obviously lost like over a year ago at this point. In terms of cost, the tabletops that I got from IKEA, they're £20 each, so £60 for 3 of them. The set of 4 clasps I got was £6.50 from Amazon, and then the grip mat I got was a single sheet that I cut to size from Amazon, which was also like £4.50 or £5, I think it was. And last thing, the screws I already had to hand from a previous project, but little packets of screws like that from Wix, where I got mine from, are like £2-3, if that. So all in all, you're looking at around £75 if you round up generously to get the materials and put this thing together, which is super easy to do once you've got everything in place. But I'm now very happy because I have the wargaming table of my dreams. So if you're anything like me, I definitely recommend doing this because it wasn't too expensive and it took me less than an hour to do the DIY bit to make it what it's going to be going forward. Storage wise, I can just fit these panels down the side of a cabinet, so they'll be out of the way, no muss, no fuss, and it just looks nicer than having those picnic tables just up in the middle of your house. Thanks for watching, and if you found this useful, please leave comments down below. And if you've got any other ideas on how to improve this setup or any alternate builds, definitely leave comments down below because I'm interested to see what else people are doing out there. And finally, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ding the bell, ask your butler to wake you up in the middle of the night whenever I upload a new video to this channel, because this is obviously the priority you have in your life going forward, is watching me ramble on about things. But yeah, thanks for watching.